Bonjour et bienvenue à la boîte de délices. Ce soir, je joue à un jeu de cartes coopératif appelé le Poilus.
Hi, welcome to Box Delights. Tonight I'm going to be playing a card game called Le Poilus. It's cooperative, 2 to 4, I think it says. Yeah, 2 to 5. Le Poilus is a nickname for the French infantry of the First World War. And I guess poignant about this one, you're going to enjoy the artwork drawn by French cartoonist Bruno Voulac, who was killed in January this year in the Charlie Hebdo shooting. So this is a game for us to not just remember him, but also the men who died during the First World War. Anyway, the rules are straightforward, but there's some good strategy in the gameplay. I'm really impressed, and we've been enjoying playing this one. There is a little bit of French language. There's some cards in here which have some text that, well, hopefully you'd be able to understand. It's not too tricky. But for the most part, aside from these cards, the rest of it is language independent pretty much. Okay? So anyway, what I'm going to show you is how the game plays. It is a cooperative game, but it's one of these ones that doesn't necessarily play well solo, but I'm going to play solitaire anyway. And we're going to play two-player, so I'm going to play two-handed with one dummy player. So the rules tell us to use this dummy player playing solitaire, and that's because of the use of these support tokens, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. The aim of the game is to complete a series of missions and an attempt to reveal this peace card, and to do so before the morale deck runs out. Okay, we're going to place a number of cards. We'll give this deck a shuffle. These are threat cards, and each one of these cards is going to represent a threat that we faced during the First World War in the trenches. We're going to play with a variant of 20 cards for two-player, and these go in a stack here on top of the peace card. Now every round, this peace deck is going to get refilled from this deck here, the morale deck. We call this the threat deck and this morale deck. So each turn we're going to be taking cards from here, and at the end of each turn replacing them with cards from here. And the number of cards we place here is determined by the number of cards we still have in our hands, with a minimum of 3. Okay, so it's kind of this race against getting through this deck compared to this deck. One of the main rules says that you can't discuss the contents of your hand. Alright, and also these support tokens need to be kept secret. And the support tokens are either à la droite or gauche, left or right. Okay, and what it means is I'm supporting the player to my left, or I'm supporting the player to my right. And around the table, whichever player gets supported the most by his comrades will get a support bonus. Alright, but the best way for me to explain this to you is to demonstrate it. It's not tricky. Anyway, in the two-player game, we need to remove these double-arrowed ones. So I'm just going to do that quickly first. Voila. D'accord. I'm going to have to stop myself speaking in my stupid French accent. Now, there is an errata that came in the box. This is the French version, obviously, that says, from the rules, each player gets one left and one right, but according to the errata, we don't get one left, one right. Instead, everything's dealt randomly. So I'm going to shuffle over these support tokens up. I've got a tasse de café on the reverse. Keep them hidden. And we're going to give each player 3 at random. 1, 2, 3. The rest go back in the box. We're not going to need them for this game. We do have player cards to choose from. And throughout the game, we're going to be facing various threats. They're going to be things that just make our life a little bit more difficult in the trenches. So we have darkness, we have a whistle, which represents us going over the top, a gas mask, snow, rain, and then we have this shell, okay? These are the different threats that we're going to have to face. Each player has a lucky charm next to one of these threats. What that means is we're particularly resistant to that type of threat, okay? We can overcome it using our lucky charm. It doesn't really matter which ones you choose, just top three will do, okay? We're not going to be able to use one of them because it's going to be for the dummy player, who I'm going to place here. And the dummy player is going to get a stack of these support cards, or support tokens. These are then my two players, and we each start with our support tokens and our lucky charm face up. When we use our lucky charm, we turn him face down, okay? The good news is that if we receive the most support, one of the bonuses that we can get is to turn our lucky charm face up and use it once more. But I'll show you what it does for the game shortly. Let's assign the start player token. This is our commandant, our chef, our chief. We also have a player aid, which talks us through the round order. So the setup was real quick. The first one we do is the preparation, la préparation, which will have the chief choose 1 to 3 cards, which will be the intensity of the mission we're about to face. The intensity of the first mission must always be 3. Now what that means is we draw 3 cards each from the top of this deck. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so each mission, 1 to 3 cards. And during this mission we're going to be getting rid of these cards. We're going to be playing these cards into a tableau called No Man's Land. Now remember, at the end of every mission, more cards are going to be coming in to the threat deck based on how many cards we've got left in our hands. So that's the idea, that's the balancing act. So let's get started. We'll start over here, and we're just going to play a card from our hand. Now there's 2 types of cards here. We've got threat cards, which is this one. It has the whistle and the darkness. It's got 2 threats on it. All we're going to do is play a card to the tableau, and we're going to alternate, taking turns doing that. But what we can't do is have 3 of the identical threats in No Man's Land. If we do, we fail the mission. Right? Failing the mission doesn't lose you the game, but it's going to make winning the whole game a lot more difficult. Alright? What we want to try and do is succeed in the missions. The more missions we succeed, the better support we have and the more speech tokens we can get, making this much more achievable. Then we've got these other cards here. These are the coup dur, the hardship cards, and this one's a traumatized. We're traumatized by darkness. What that means is when you play these hardship cards, they don't go to No Man's Land. Instead, they go next to your infantry. This means from now on, for as long as this card remains next to our Poilus, our soldier, then this adds 1 to the 3 darkness that we can have, okay, for failure. So I can put 1 darkness in No Man's Land, added to that one, that's 2, a third would fail the mission, okay. Now these cards here, they don't count as in your hand, they're not in No Man's Land, but remember, you've got to get rid of all the cards in your hand in order to win the game. They're unavoidable. But should you ever have 4 of these next to your infantryman, then you're going to lose the game also. That's the second condition that will lose you the game. There are ways to get rid of these. Remember, I told you that if you're the player who has the most support, then you get to flip your used lucky charm back over. The other thing that you can do is rid yourself of 2 of these hardship cards. So the order of play is thus. Okay, we've done our preparation, we've drawn our cards. The next one is mission, and you've got 4 different actions you can take. The first thing you can do is play a card. Play a card from your hand, either one of these hardships next to your infantrymen or into no man's land. Now this card I've just played, as well as having the two threats of darkness and the over-the-top whistle, it's got this icon here, and that's a trap card. And what that means is I have to immediately draw and play one more card from the threat deck straight down into no man's land. I'm going to play that and get it out of the way right away. You don't want to be playing these later on, because if you do, there's a chance that the card drawn is going to fail you the mission. Okay, it says Egoist. This is a hardship card, so I have to play it right next to my infantrymen. Okay, so not a good start for Gustave Bidot. Now these cards are going to have an effect on the game. They're going to make you behave in a certain way or affect what you have to do. This one says Soutien, the support cards, toujours, always, redirected towards yourself, vers soi. Okay, so what that means is normally you're either playing support to the person to your left or support to the person to your right. What this means is that I'm always going to be supporting myself. Right, and that'll become clear when we move into the support phase. The time you play one of these support cards is when you can no longer play any cards from your hand, or you don't want to play any more cards from your hand. One of the actions you can then take is to exit the mission and go dig in back in the trenches. And when you do that, you place one of these support cards down and you keep it secret. Right? No one knows who you're going to be supporting. Now remember, you're going to be supporting to the person to your left or to your right, and so is everybody else. So there is a chance that everyone's going to support everyone else, and everyone's going to end up with just one support token each. That's okay, but no one gets the bonus. For someone to have the bonus, they need a majority. So you've kind of got to second guess what everyone else is going to do. Right? Try to keep communications to a minimum if you can, because that makes the game more fun. So once I've taken my action, play moves clockwise. Now dummy player doesn't get to play. His only function is to play a random support. You can imagine in a game of just two players, if I'm supporting him and he's supporting me, none of us can ever have the majority. What's interesting is that we're going to have a random left or right. So one of us is going to get the majority, hopefully. But you shouldn't always support each other. You might be dealt a handful of gauche, which means I can only support old Charles up here. Okay. As it stands, Gaston gets to go. So we have mutism. Now this one says that we cannot communicate avec les autres, with others. Okay, so we can't talk to the others. We've got to keep quiet. Now, obviously, playing solitaire, this isn't going to do very much. Let's just put it down. Action goes back to the next player. All right, we don't like traumatism for darkness. We don't like darkness. I'm okay with that one. Maladroit says when we move back to the trenches, when we retreat, withdraw, we must piocher et jouer une carte. We must draw and play one card. So I'm going to... I'd quite like to get rid of that one. So assuming I win the support, hopefully I can get rid of that one pretty quickly. As it goes, we're doing okay at the moment. This guy's going to play this one. It's another trap card. So again, it's got two threats on it. We've got the gas mask, we've got the rain, darkness, whistle. Now we're still okay, but it's got a trap, which means I have to play one of these. But we should still be safe. It's a phobia against gas masks. Alright, what this means now is that we've got two gas masks. So no one can afford to play another. Darkness is okay, I'm going to get that one down. Finally, yeah, I can't play this card because 1, 2, 3. This one has the gas mask and the shell, so I'm stuck. My only option now is to play a support card, withdraw. So I've got gauche droit, so I can support this person with the gauche, or dummy with a doigt. We haven't got any more cards in our hand. So, well, I've got egoist, so I know I'm going to always support myself. Let's get rid of these gauches, which always support dummy, so let's do that. Now we reveal, so we draw one random for Charles, the dummy player, and it supports doigt, so this support token comes this way. Imagine we're all sitting in a circle this way. This would normally move over here and move to dummy, but because we've got egoist, I'm going to keep it. And then Gaston plays the gauche, it's coming over here. So I've got the majority, I get the support. My choice is to either flip back over a used Lucky Charm, but I've not used it, or get rid of 2 of these hardship cards. And I am going to get rid of Maladroit. I forgot to activate that one. When I played my support token, I should have played another card. And it was rain and whistle, so we were okay. 2 whistles, 2 rain, 2 gas masks. Yeah, we were okay. No problems. Phew! I was about to make a big mistake. Let's get rid of that one. And I'll get rid of egoist. So these get discarded, and so do the cards that are in no man's land, the ones that we've successfully negotiated. So that was mission success. The next step is base de morale. This is when we have to reduce our morale, and this is where we count the number of cards in our hand. Now there's just 1 card left here with this player, so that means 1 card moves from the morale deck over to the threat deck. There's a rule that says it should always be a minimum of 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So you can see we've gotten rid of 6 cards from this deck, but we've added 3 more, so we're 3 through it. Right, we've made some progress through it. The other thing is that the person who is the chief gets one of these. If you succeed the mission, gets one of these speech tokens, and I'll show you what they do soon enough. But now the mission chief token moves across, and we move back into the preparation phase, and now we're free to choose 1, 2 or 3. And the danger of only choosing 1 card is that, well, we know we're going to put 3 more from here to here, which means that actually this deck's gotten bigger by a net of 1. So that's not necessarily good unless you've got a lot of cards in your hand and you're worried about getting more cards added. So we're going to say the mission difficulty is 3, the intensity is 3, 3 cards each. 1, 2, 3, making good progress. Now you can see I've played that with only 20 cards. If you want to make the game harder, 25 or 30 is the recommended. Alright, Gaston goes first. Let's see. Tyrannique. This one says that he's always the chef de mission, okay, le garde. He's always the first player. I'm going to play the shell and the rain. Next up is Gustave. We have Demoralize, which says we need to draw 1 more morale card from the morale deck at the end. Minimum of 4 rather than a minimum of 3. Okay, let's put whistle on slow. Next, we've got phobia of gas masks. Let's get rid of that one. I find that it's better to, if you can, play a card to his strength. So if he's got the shell, this is Lucky Charm, better to play a shell from your hand. It just didn't fall that way. Okay, we've got 2 whistles, 2 snow, 2 shells, 1 rain, 2 gas masks, 1 darkness. We're doing okay. On Rain, on Darkness. Again, I think we're still okay if we play this one. That's still good. And now we've got Demoralised. I'm going to hold on to this and play my support. And this time I do want to support Gaston. What it is. Back to you, Gaston. And he's got Tyrannique. Always first player. I'm happy to put that down. And let's stick with that. He's passed, so he's no longer part of the mission. Time for us to get rid of one of the support tokens. À droite, let's support the dummy. And then we've passed the mission. So he gets a speech token. Not needed to use that yet, but we'll come to it. Okay, let's check our support tokens. So that one's going this way, that one's going that way, that one's going that way, and then randomly, I'm hoping it's no good, it came this way. So we all got one support token each, no one gets the bonus. One card in our hand, 1, 2, 3 is the minimum. And obviously because of Tyrannique, he doesn't have to pass it. Let's draw. I'm going to set the intensity at 3 once more, because we're doing well. And Gaston goes first. Oh, that's a nasty card. It's got everything on it, so let's get that out first. This one's got a lot on it as well. I can't play the gas mask because that'll put 3 in. So I'm going to use my lucky charm to get rid of a card with snow on it. So I'll place this face down, and since this card has snow on it, I can discard this one. Neat. Okay, back to Gaston. So that was my action. Okay, playing that. I can't play a 4th hardship card because that would end the game. He can't have 4. So let's put this one in. That's 2 gas masks. I can't put this one in. No, let's put down this one. And we'll have them use their speech token. So Gaston's going to cry rain. Okay. Now it may well be that you work out a method, kind of like bidding in bridge, whereby if you place a card that's identical to the one just played, then that means you've got another one. You know, you could work out some kind of secret code. Normally these speech tokens, if you play one, they get discarded from the game, but playing 2 players, they go back in the supply. So there's kind of an unlimited supply of these things. So he cried rain. We do have a rain, so we can discard it. And now it's our go. We still can't play the gas mask. Let's play Demoralised. And we might be able to get rid of it. And he's got Phobia. Very good. Very good. Alright, so support. And no, I can't play this one. So let's play Doigt aussi. Support Gaston, and then hopefully Charlie will support him. Let's see. No. Oh, Doigt's this way. No, it's all gone round the other way again. Never mind. Never mind. But we succeeded in the mission. He gets another speech token. Let's shuffle these up. It's getting late here, you see, so I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm forgetting what's where. Okay, we've got 2 cards in our hands between us, so it's the minimum again. 1, 2, 3. we're feeling brave. So let's go for the full 3 intensity. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 cards left in the deck. And, nasty. Let's play this one with the trap on it. Oh, and we've immediately lost the game. Traumatism. That's left us with 4 cards next to our Poilus. Not quite bravo à tout, but yeah, c'est tout. That ends the game. Maybe that was an unnecessary risk, yeah. There's only 1 card left here. So, assuming we got 3 more, that possibly would have been the end of the game next time. Close, close. There you go. That's the game. As you can see, the rules are simple, but putting these plays together is a lot of fun, and I can imagine with more players, even more fun. And these little hazards and the way they work, hardship cards and the way they work, the coup d'oeuvres. Yeah, I really like them. They'll be playing solitaire, perhaps a lot more strategy around, because there's no hidden information apart from the random support ones. But even then, once you've passed things over, you should start to get a feel. Because you know what's going around the table, you should have an idea about what he might be playing and what the odds are. But yeah, I don't see any reason why you can't play this solo. But I think a lot more, with more people, it's going to be a little bit more fun as you're trying to help each other out. One thing that's not clear to me is how much you can discuss, and the idea of the mute one that says you can't talk at all suggests that you can talk a little bit about what's going on, but I think you shouldn't be able to talk about the contents of your hand directly, or which cards you've played, because which support tokens you played, because you're playing them face down. But I think you can perhaps encourage other players to do certain things. Please play your lucky charm and that kind of stuff. So that's it. A great little small box game. Plays in about 30 minutes, and is worth picking up, if nothing else, for the art and the sentiment, and I think what is some decent gameplay as a nice filler game. This is certainly going to be a keeper for me, so that's the Box of Delights. Thumbs up. C'est tout. Au revoir et à bientôt.